Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Smash JT. In this episode, we're going to be talking about digital rights management, or DRM, and how Nintendo still can't manage to get it right. You might be wondering why I'm holding two different Switches in my hand right now, that I own both of these. You say, why would anyone have two Switches? You only need one to play your games. Well, let me indulge you on why. You see, when Nintendo first announced the Switch, people found out that they were actually having a unified account system tied to their download purchases. And I couldn't be more happy when I first heard that. And then I found a little bit more about it of when you purchase a download, it's tied to your Nintendo account. And I thought, hey, that's fine. I mean, I'll just put my account on the other system. You know, just how Sony and Microsoft handle their account system. Well, this is a lot different and a hell of a lot more restrictive. See, with Sony and Microsoft, if you buy a downloadable title, you can put it on your PlayStation 4, your PlayStation 3, your Xbox One, or whatever you want to put it on, and then you get a new system and put it in a different room, and you just log into your account on that system and download it and play it. And you would think if Nintendo has a unified account system that you'd be able to do that same exact thing with Nintendo. And I found out the hard way that you can't. When I load up my Switch's eShop on the second Switch that I bought, it brings me to the download page once I link my accounts to it, and it lets me re-download the titles that I've purchased already. Which seems great on the surface until you actually click on re-download, and it says you need to deactivate your Nintendo account on your other Switch system in order to download it on this system. And it's the most ridiculous policy I could ever imagine, because if I've purchased the game on one system, it stands to reason I should be able to use it wherever the hell I want to because I purchased it with my money. And this is just one more reason why people should go physical copies only if possible, because you never know when you're going to want a second system. I was looking at getting another dock, and those were like $70 just for the dock. And I was like, well, I need another set of Joy-Cons for when I have parties and stuff and people coming over. And those are $80 for the Joy-Cons. So together you're looking at $150 before tax on just a dock and controllers, which would make the actual Switch system $150 to bring it up to the total of $300 for what all comes with that box. I figured I have a son who loves video games. Why not just get another Switch? That way I get all my purchases over to that and can give it to him so he can play it, so I can actually have some time to play it myself. And when I tried to put the purchases on it, I came up with that disclaimer from Nintendo saying I had to deactivate my original Switch just to put these games on it. And that wouldn't be the biggest deal in the world, except for there are some games that I really wanted that are digital only, like Sonic Mania, like Snipper Clips, Mighty Gun Volt Burst. Awesome games that my kid loves that I already have on my Switch that I actually love to play as well. And I'm unable to put these games on his Switch unless I deactivate my own Switch, making these downloads completely useless on other systems. And I can't even begin to try to defend Nintendo on this decision, because it's the most ridiculous thing you can do to a consumer is tie their purchases to a system. You tell people that it's going to be tied to your account, but what you don't say is that you can only play them at one system at a time, and if you want to play them on a different system, you have to deactivate a whole other account and activate it on another system, making the whole process completely ridiculous to even fathom trying to play it on the other system. So then I figured, okay, I'll just buy it again on the other system and they'll double dip on a purchase. They don't let you buy it under your account again. You have to create a whole new account to buy it again, because if you try to buy it with your own account, it says it's already been purchased. Which is, again, why I'm glad that I'm a collector for these games and like the physical copies, because you can take the carts out of these boxes and put them into any system you want, and they play. And you would think there could never be an issue with a physical copy of a game to share with people. But you'd be very wrong, because Nintendo's actually done this in the past, trying to screw with physical copies of games. You guys familiar with Super Mario Maker on 3DS? I got this game for Christmas a few years ago, and again, I have a 3DS, and my son kept trying to play my 3DS, so I bought another 3DS for him. And I figured, you know, I know he's gonna love this game, and I know I'm gonna love this game, so instead of buying a digital version for me and a digital version for him, why not just buy the cartridge and we can share it together when each of us want to play it, we can. You can't. Well, you can, but you really can't. And what I mean by that is, when you put this cartridge into your system, it locks your save file to your 3DS, not to the cartridge. So when you take the cartridge out and try to put it into another system, it has a little save feature on the cartridge that says, this is tied to another system. You have to delete everything on the cartridge just to play it in another system. And when you do that, you have to sit through 20 minutes of tutorials before you can actually play the game. I've tried it. Trust me, do not do this. And once you actually do that with the other system and pull it out of that and put it back into your own system, you have to delete everything you just did on the other system and sit through another 20 minutes of tutorials. Basically, this is a digital version that's on a cartridge, and they lock it to your system, and you cannot share it with someone without deleting everything you've progressed on. And it's one of the dirtiest things I've ever seen Nintendo try to slide by the consumer. And I don't see many people complaining about this, maybe because they just don't know about that. But thankfully, as far as I've seen, this is the only title that Nintendo has done this on so far. And hopefully they learn their lesson not to screw over someone who's buying their games, because they're not going to want to come back and buy more of their games. Ultimately, I ended up calling Nintendo about this and asking them what the hell was going on. And after about an hour and a half of conversations with their customer service and being moved up to talking to their managers and complaining to them, eventually they said, here's a download code for your son's system for free because we feel bad for you. Why would you make it so hard in the first place? Just let the cartridge tie the save game to the cartridge and not the system. Why would you do that? Anyways, I just wanted to let you guys know that there's some severe drawbacks to digital-only purchases, especially when it comes to Nintendo. So buyer beware. Right now, Sonic Mania is only a digital download. I wanted to get a cart of it because of my nostalgia, and I'm a collector and I love to have the carts, and it didn't come out in a cartridge form, which is a whole nother conversation in itself right there. But because I had to purchase a digital download of it, I'm unable to share it with my son without loading up his own account and buying it again. I don't understand why Nintendo is so archaic with their beliefs that everyone is trying to steal everything from them. If you give people the option of sharing items, they want to buy more of it because there's more value in it there. And it should tell you something that Apple and Steam and Microsoft and Sony all tie it to the accounts and let you bring it to different devices that accept it. Nintendo does not let you do that. Still, even though they say it's tied to your account, that's BS. It is not tied to your account. It's tied to your system. The only thing they let you do is deactivate one Switch when changing it over to another Switch, meaning it makes it completely useless on one Switch until you deactivate it on the other Switch and bring it back on the original Switch. It's the most ludicrous DRM policy that I have ever heard of to date, and Nintendo still doesn't think there's anything wrong with this. So let this video be a buyer beware for you whenever you're purchasing any downloadable content on the eShop. It is going to be locked to a singular account on a singular system. And whenever you have the chance to buy physical, because you never know when you're going to want to share a gameplay experience with one of your friends or children. That's the end of my rant right now for Nintendo, but I'd love to hear what you guys have to think about their DRM policies. Let me know down in the comments below what you think about this situation. And as always, thank you guys so much for watching. Have a good one.